What most people don't realize about mentality and mindset is that it's habitual. It's a habit just like any physical habits that you have, except for it's mental habits. So the way that you think is a product of the habits, the mental habits that you have. If you typically think negatively, you might tend to have a more negative mindset or mentality. If you think positively, if you think powerfully, all of that stuff. And just like any habit, it can be reprogrammed, it can be rewritten. Okay, so I'm sure you have seen lots and lots and lots of posts and videos and all that kind of stuff about habits, breaking habits, tracking habits, all that kind of stuff. Physical habits though. But what about the mental habits? And how do we defeat those? And how do we make those better? So I wanted to go over just a couple of things in here of how we can do that. So number one is pattern interrupt. So just like with any habit, there's a feedback loop, right? We have a cue, we have the habit, we have the reward. Okay, so we need to interrupt that pattern. We need to interrupt the feedback. We need to interrupt the loop. So one of the ways to do this is through, I want to call them, I feel like the best way to describe it is like, it might sound kind of weird, but I'll kind of get into it. But I feel like the best word to describe it is like totems, like ideas, things that could say symbols, like symbolize something to you that will break you out of your routine that you typically have and remind you to get into the mentality that you want until that new mentality then becomes a habit, because that's how it works. Over time, as you create a habit of being powerful or strong or confident and developing that mindset and that mentality, that will become the habit. Okay? So, example, the stuff behind me, right? Those mean something to me. When I see them, it reminds me of a certain mentality, a certain mindset, of a certain way to be. And it might be different for you, whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you're going for. So anything like, you think of like motivational posters, they might be kind of dorky, I guess. But like, if it works for you, if it reminds you and it snaps you into the mentality that you want, those can be very helpful. Little, statues, things like that, the background, the wallpaper on your phone, anything that you can do to put in your line of sight, to put in your life more often who you want to be, the mentality that you want to develop, so that you're constantly being bombarded with these things that you want. And you set that up on purpose. You set it up so that you're successful with that, right? So you create now a habit of, you see those things. Now when you're gone, hit the mic a little bit. Now when you're away from home or whatever, you'll tend to have those habits, that habitual nature of thinking like, like I said, strength, power, confidence, whatever it is that you're looking for, prestige, I don't know, whatever you're looking for. Okay, so that's one of the ways, is the motivational stuff, the posters, the wallpapers, the items, maybe carry like a coin with you or something like that. Things that remind you of it. The pattern interrupt. And then you also need to get really clear on what mentality that you want. What is it that you're going after and why you want that? And then in your mind, create a symbol for that you can recall and go back to and anchor yourself to, so that if you need to, you can recall that. I would go with an image, maybe a phrase, potentially, whatever works better for you, I guess, right? An image, a symbol, a phrase, something in your mind that you can recall when you need to, that will bring you into that state of being, into that mentality and that mindset. So I think a popular one that a lot of people use that I've seen is like the warrior mentality, right? So like, I used to use that a lot. I've kind of drifted away from it now for myself personally, but I think it's a great place to start, because it will mean something to you that maybe it means a little bit differently to me, and that's all right. But if you think if you're going through a hard time, or some trial comes up or something happens, and you think like you're afraid or you feel some type of way that you don't want to, you can just think warrior mentality and snap yourself back into the state of being that you want to be and get into the state of mind that you desire. So those are a couple of things. Hopefully you found this helpful. I want you to build that mentality and that mindset that you desire. And I want you to create a habit, because we are the culmination of our habits, not just physical ones, the mental habits that we have as well, probably more importantly. But physical also goes into mental, the mind-body connection, all that kind of stuff. So they're both important, but I don't think that we touch on the mental aspect enough of habits. Try this out. I'd be happy to hear from you in the comments or DM me how this is working out for you, or if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up as well. I'll catch you on the next one.